Hey everybody, it's Grady at Twin Creek Audio. I'm back in the studio today to set up the Soundtracs Topaz Project 8 recording console so I can do a demonstration recording. In this video I'm going to show the setup of it and what I'm having to connect to it to get this demo going, and in the next video I'll actually do some test recordings to demonstrate what the console sounds like. But in this video you're going to actually see how I'm connecting things, which would probably give you a pretty good idea of how to use this console if you were to purchase one. So hang out with me while I climb behind all this stuff and plug things in so that we can hear the Soundtracs Topaz Project 8 recording console. Hey, it's Grady, I'm back here. This is the back of the Soundtracs Topaz console. This is the input to the two Marantz MA500 monoblock amps that I have running my NS10s. So I'm going to connect that to control room A, left and right, before I get all the snake cables and everything else in the way. As you can see, I got a lot of cables. That's all the cabling going over to the Soundcraft Sapphire back there, and then the racks. Tried to keep things as neat as I can back here for times like this. Got quite a bit of stuff that I need to finish neatening up. Go ahead and plug that in there. From the power supply, this is plugged in. Now I need some snakes, and the Motu 828's just in this next rack here. So I need to run the snake cables into there. I've already got all the snakes going over to the Sapphire and the patch bay. So let's see if I can get the rest of this connected. I've got to figure out something I can put this up on so it's not sitting flat like it is right now. The power supply under this, in the belly of this console, puts out some heat. So I use some cable wrap things to kind of stand it up off of this to help keep it cool, and the actual external part of the power supply is right down there underneath it, along with my DI and my labeling machine that I was using to label some of this stuff. But that's the thing to look for. You can put your hand right there on the bottom of the console and it does get pretty warm. I've never had any kind of problems with this one though, and this is the second one of these I've owned. The first one didn't give me any trouble either. So you can see the feet there are raised up about 1/4 inch higher than they normally would be due to the spacers that I put under the four corners of this to raise it up some. And I'm hoping that's good. That and keeping the air temperature pretty low in the room should do pretty well. I've got two 8-channel TRS snakes. I'm going to use the shorter one of the two for the tape outputs to go into the Motu 828, and then use the longer one for the 8 returns. I have the tape outputs running from here over to the Motu 828 audio interface. Let me get the camera and zoom in on that, or I'll do that after I've got both of these connected. Now it's time to do the tape returns with this snake. There are the tape inputs and outputs connected to the back of the Soundtracs Topaz Project 8. The cool thing about this setup is those tape outs can become bus outs with those buttons on the front. The bus buttons on the front, if you watch the first 2 videos I did on this, you know what I'm talking about. So this gives you the flexibility of either direct outputs or the 8 bus outputs right there on the same row with the tape or monitor inputs. Now let me see if I can show you the back of the Motu that this is connected to. There are the connections from the console to the back of the Motu 828. I was actually thinking about getting a ADAT interface to expand this, because this thing actually works fine still. I bought it used real inexpensively, and it does work fine still. No problems with this guy. It works with the old PowerBook G3, works with the new Macs, works with Windows. You can see the bus tape outputs and tape returns down there, connected to the Motu and the rack next to it, behind my messy racks of equipment. Here's the front of the original Motu 828 that I'm going to be using. Now for a trip into the studio closet to find more patch cables. Some Samson microphones, I'll show those in a video. Some shock mount parts, cables. Ah, there's the Allen & Heath System 8. And now I'm just making a mess, trying to get the cables that I need so I can connect the wedge reverb and several compressors to the Soundtracs Topaz. I'm going to plug in a couple of insert cables that I want to use. So here you can see on the top there is the back of the Alesis wedge reverb. I have it connected from auxiliary send number 4 on the console, and then the stereo outputs are going to the FX1 effects return on the console. Below that is the DBX163X. Right now I have it patched to subgroup number 2, but I may move that around depending on what I might want to use that compressor on. Here's the Alesis wedge reverb. I really like this thing. I've kept this for a number of years, even though I don't really use it for much except for monitoring. And I also have a Yamaha Rev 500, so this doesn't get that much use, but I'm going to use it for this demo. And now that I've got it hooked back up, I'll probably start using it otherwise. Below that, we've got the DBX163X compressor that I have connected to subgroup number 2 right now, but I'll probably move that around, at least to use on bass. Okay, I also want to connect my Symmetrix 501 to one of the channels on here. I'm just shooting with my phone. There you can see the back of the Symmetrix 501 compressor, and the insert cables are connected to it. Change out the cables on the 501 for some reason using a regular insert cable, a Y cable connected to the Topaz. It wasn't liking that. So I just used a Y adapter and then 2 XLR to 1/4 inch cables. See what the Y adapter, there's the Y adapter right there. Group number 1, and that's going to my 2 XLR to 1/4 inch cables. I've connected the NS10s. These NS10s, which obviously they're over the Sapphire, and the Topaz is over here. But that'll have to work. I can just turn sideways and at least hear what I'm doing. And when I mix, I'll just have to use the rolly chair and roll around the room. So I finished setting up the console. I've connected a couple of compressors. I connected the DBX163X and the Symmetrix 501 compressors both to the console. I have them on the first 2 buses right now, but I can move those around real easily since I can get to the back of the board. I left myself some space back there. I've also tested the console out, cleaned a couple insert jacks, and as you saw, I had to hunt for some cables and things. But I think we're in good shape. So in the next video, I'll be recording and mixing a track through the Soundtracs Topaz Project 8. So I hope you all come back and check out that video. So that is pretty much the setup that I'm going to be using to test the Soundtracs Topaz Project 8 console in the next video. And I've connected a few more pieces of outboard gear to this than I did for the Allen & Heath System 8 demo that I did roughly the same way, and also using the Motu 828. But this time I'm going to take it a step further in the next video when we get to hear the Soundtracs Project 8 recording console in the next video. So don't forget to like and subscribe. And I hope you have an excellent day, night, evening, hour, minute, second, nanosecond, whatever it is you're having. Have a good one.